What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Goran Dragic and Andre Drummond getting selected to the All-Star team. Obviously, I made a video about Paul George getting selected to the All-Star team, but today we're going to talk about that. Goran Dragic was a guy that he was a borderline All-Star when he was in Phoenix. Obviously, that was his best season of his career. When he averaged 20 points, 26, one steal, 50% from the field, and 40% from three. A lot of people thought he got robbed for not making the All-Star team, even though his team wasn't in the playoffs at that point. People still felt like he was playing so well that he should have been an All-Star. And after those two seasons in Phoenix, after that season, he ended up getting traded to Miami, where we thought he would be an All-Star quickly because of what he did in Phoenix and the fact that going to the Heat meant that he would be on a winning team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And obviously, they did make the playoffs with Dwayne Wade and Goran on the same team, but Goran numbers actually took a dip, and they end up voting in Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, leaving Goran Dragic out because he wasn't having the season that he was having in Phoenix. He had to sacrifice because he was on a better team with better players, even though their record didn't show it. Playing with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade is better than anybody they had in Phoenix. And now that Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade is gone, the Heat had to move on. They had to move forward, and since they have done that, they had signed Goran Dragic, who took a pay cut to keep Dwayne Wade happy and give him the money he was owed. Um, he took a pay cut, and now the team is built around Hassan Whiteside and Goran Dragic. Obviously, they was a borderline playoff team last year, and they damn near made the playoffs. They just had bad luck losing the last couple games that made them not. I mean, losing the last game which stopped them from getting into the playoffs, which is unfortunate. But they came back this year. They had a rough first couple months. Now they're on pace to make the playoffs. They got a beautiful record. They basically guaranteed to make it by a lot of people. Even I picked the Miami Heat to make the playoffs this year, and currently, they're sitting at the fourth seed with a 29-22 record, and that's very good considering how they start. For them to go on that winning streak and like they did last year and miss it, but they went on a winning streak this year, and now they have a really really good chance of making it. They deserve the All Star. If you in the top four, you probably deserve two All Stars if you're in that top four in the Eastern Conference, and a lot of teams does have that. Even teams that's not even in the top four, like the Wizards, they top five, and they got Bradley Beal and John Wall, who will not be playing, but they still had two All Stars on their roster. I mean, on the All Star roster, and they not even in the top five at this point. Goran Dragic, I feel like he deserved it. Like I said, Hassan Whiteside is a guy that missed a lot of time. He's a guy that you can argue is not even the best. He's the highest paid player on the team besides Chris Bosh, who they still paying on the low. Um, but everybody felt like if they would have an All Star, it would be Goran, and I was surprised that he actually got picked. And the reason why I say that because you have Dwight Howard, even though he doesn't have the record, he's been putting up double doubles and 20-point games damn near every game now. You have Kemba Walker averaging over 20 points a game. Chris Middleton is another guy that's averaging over 20 points a game playing with Giannis, and they're in the playoffs, and they were just in the top five a couple of days ago, and seeing um, Kevin Love get injured, I thought that Chris Middleton probably would be an All Star, especially considering their record. But it's more fair to give another team a player for the All Star game instead of just putting a bunch of All Star teams with the same All Star teams with players on the same team an All Star berth. So Chris Middleton, Kemba Walker, Dwight Howard all had cases. You can make a case for Ben Simmons. Obviously, he's another guy that you can make a case for that could be an All Star. Hassan Whiteside is another one, but like I said, a lot of people already felt that it should go to Goran Dragic if he would be selected. Let's talk about Andre Drummond, the guy that's going to be replacing Kevin Love. A lot of people feel like he was snubbed. He should have been on the list. You look at all the TV shows that talk about basketball, everybody had Drummond on the list besides a couple people. He's averaging 14 points a game and 15 rebounds, a double-double, a big double-double, because 15 rebounds are just ridiculous. That's a career high for him, 15 rebounds. The highest he ever averaged was 14.8, and he averaged 16 points and 14.8 rebounds, and he was an all-star that season. But he hasn't been an all-star since, because Reggie Jackson missed half of the season last year. And when he came back, he had to get back into playing shape, get back into playing form. So he really didn't fit because he was still trying to catch up to the injury that he had sustained in the beginning of the season. And they just couldn't recover after getting off to that start. They couldn't recover. And this season, they got off to a better start. But the Pistons are still not in the playoffs, which I'm saying you can still think about Dwight, you can still think about Kemba, you can still even think about Chris Middleton making that All-Star spot. But when you look at the numbers, 15 rebounds and 14 points, it's hard not to say Andre Drummond is not an All-Star. Um, and you can see the increased free throw percentage. He used to shoot 30% damn near every year. Now he's shooting 61% from the free throw line. His field goal percentage been up from the last couple years. He shot 60% both seasons in his rookie and sophomore season. Ever since then, he's been shooting below 55%. This year, he's shooting 54% from the field. He's also giving you one block and a steal. He's not really known as a great defender, but he has a lot of effort, a lot of hustle, and a lot of energy. And if he can learn how to put it all together, if he can learn how to help and trust his teammates and be at the right spots and not help too much, not give up too many drop-off passes and alley-oops to other teams, is easier said than done. Obviously, NBA players are so great at what they do. They know how to get it done, regardless if you game plan, scout, or whatever. Certain players just know how to get you. No matter what defender, what system, wherever you scout, they can still get what they want. We all know that Drummond is a great rebounder, but he still is giving you 15 rebounds a game. We all know that Drummond is not a great offensive player. That's why his field goal percentage has been going down, because of his finishing around the rim and his ability not to be a great offensive player outside of getting alley-oops and dump-off dunks. So you've seen the field goal percentage go down. But we still know that going into the game that we got to stop Andre Drummond for getting rebounds, and you still can't do it because he's been proving it every day of the season, every game of the season. So it's easier said than done to stop an all-star caliber player. But I'm not the biggest Andre Drummond fan, honestly, and you guys know that. I feel like Andre Drummond is not one of the better players in the league, especially when you look at the more complete and diverse, well-rounded players. You definitely can't put Andre Drummond on that list, but he has improved, even giving you a career high in assists at 3.9, which is basically 4. And you see his numbers are all good. And it's surprising that they actually stopped him from getting on the All-Star team, averaging a block of steal, averaging more assists, shooting better from the free throw line, giving you 15 points a game with 15 rebounds a game. And it's surprising that he didn't make it at the first time. But when you look at the team, the players that made the team, all of them are on winning teams. Majority of them are. So him adding him to this team would make a player that's not in the playoffs. And looking at the numbers, he should have made it, but he did. So at the end of the day, we can't complain. It's not really no snubs this year, because everybody that we felt besides Chris Paul, um, everybody else got in. We felt like, oh, Goran Dragic got snubbed. Oh, Andre Drummond got snubbed. Now, Gordon and Andre in the All-Star game, I'd rather see, obviously, Kevin Love and John Wall over these two players. But at the same time, you can't really complain, because, if they can't play, we get the opportunity to see somebody else. Andre Drummond is his second appearance. Is Goran Dragic's first appearance in the All-Star game. And I feel like Dragic has proved that he's one of the better point guards in the league, one of the more efficient point guards in the league, one of the better finishing point guards in the league. And he's just a tough cover because he's so witty and smart and so patient. And it's good to see him finally get that All-Star nod after all these seasons that, he even was on the All-NBA team at one point. And now he finally got over that hurdle. I thought he would have been did it because he was in the East and how great he played in the West against better talent in the West at that time. And now that he went to the East, he can finally say, I'm an all-star. and he is. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Check out my website, NoxusPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, NoxusPlayground.com. Go click on my Facebook page, like to show support, and let me know, do you think Andre Drummond deserves to be an all-star? You look at the numbers, you look at the blocks, the steals, the assists, the rebounds, the points, and the efficiency, and you look at the free throw percentage, is all improved and is all back right on track where it should be. And also, if you look at Goran Dragic, you look at the numbers, it's not 20 points a game, 30 points a game, 25 points a game, but he's on a winning team and he's the best player on that team right now. And you can't take that away from him. Obviously, you got guys like Kemba Middleton that's averaging more points, and Chris Middleton is actually in the playoffs. And you think that he's a great defender, he's a great shooter, and he give you 20 points a game, he should be an all-star. I made a video about Chris Middleton. I thought he would be an all-star this year, but Gordon got the spot. But it can go either way, for Kemba or Dwight or even Hassan or even Chris Middleton. So let me know what you guys think. Who got snubbed? Who should get in? And if another injury happened, who you will pick to be the next guy to take over if somebody else get injured? Let me know in the comment section below. Quinn Way Basketball Analysis. I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think.